Welcome to our QuickLabel QL-120X and QL-850 tutorial on how to print using variable data. In this video, we'll show you how to print variable data using CQL Pro Labeling Software. There are many different types of variable data. We're going to talk about prompted text, we're going to talk about date, and also serialization and counters. Suppose you make coffee and you want to add variable data such as roast type, roast date, and lot number. Let's get started. Now we're going to add a prompted field for roast type. To do so, we're going to click on the text, and then we're going to click here on the label. Now we're going to move to the right side where it says Field Properties, and we're going to change our data source from fixed to prompted. In here, we're going to enter the message prompt that we want to display to the operator. So type enter roast type. This is a placeholder. We can keep it as is. Entry type. You can use the text box or multiple choice. Text box allows the user to type in their own text. If you select multiple choice, you'll need to add choices for a user. To get started, click Add. For this example, type in light roast. Click Add, and then type in your second multiple choice, medium roast. Click Add again, and type dark roast. And we're done, so we can click OK. This is where our multiple choice field text will appear. But we want to make sure the text field doesn't overlap other text in the label image. We'll need to set a limitation for the width and the height. This is actually very important, so scroll down until you reach Size, and then click on Bounding Area. Constrain the width and height. Use your cursor to select the width and height for the bounding area. This is good. And now we have our text box. We can also set minimum point size and maximum point size for our text. Alright, we're all set with the prompted text. Now let's learn how to add the roast on date. Click on text and then click on the label. We have the text box highlighted here. Go to Field Properties, and we need to change the data source from fixed to date/timestamp. Choose if you want to do date and time, or date only. For our purpose, we're going to do date only. We can also choose the format. How do you want the date to be displayed? This looks great. Now click OK. Take a look. You'll see that we have today's date. Now suppose you want to enter expiration dates. To add an expiration date, click on the text and then click on where you want it to appear on your label. Go to Field Properties over here on the right. We're going to change the data source from fixed to date and timestamp. We're going to change the type from date and time to date only. And this is the format that we're going to use. Now let's move to offset. Here we can add an offset to the date. For example, our product is going to expire in 2 years. So we can type in 2 and use the drop-down for years. We can also add a prefix. If we wanted to add a prefix, we'll use EXP for expiration. And click OK. And this is the date that we're going to print. So it's going to be 2 years from today's date. And then click OK. And here it is, expiration date. Now suppose you want to track how many bags of coffee you sell. You'll want to create a serial number or lot number or counter. To do that, we'll click on text again, and then click on your label, and then you can use your mouse to drag it and align it with the expiration date. And now we're going to Field Properties. We're going to Data Source, and we're going to change it to from fixed to counter. All right, now we have two types of counters. We're going to use the basic counter. There's different types of counters like prompted and global. We're just going to use basic counter for now. Now this is the initial counter value. We can change it to 0001, for example. Make sure to enter a placeholder like this for your number. For example, if you're going to count to 9,000, you want 4 digits here. Otherwise, it won't count to 9,000, or the number that you desired. If you want to hide the zeros on the left side, simply click on Suppress Leading Zeros. All right. And we're going to increment by 1, and then click OK. So here's our counter or serial number. And now we're ready to print. Click on File, and click on Print. And notice, because we have the prompted text right here, you'll be prompted to select the roast type. Click in here, and we have our options. So let's say we want medium roast, and just click Finish. And that's it. Now our label is being created. Select the QL-120 printer from the drop-down menu. All right. So here's our printer, QL-120, and notice that we have medium roast, roast date, and we have the expiration date. It looks great. Now if we want to increase this number, we want to make sure to use incremental quantity. So let's increase this one to 10. For example, we want to print 10 labels. And then notice that you have 10 labels over here in your preview. And when you click on this arrow, you'll see label number 2, number 3, and so on. And when you're ready, you can click Print. And that's it. Now you know how to add variable data to your label in CQL Pro. Here's an example of us printing the variable data on the QL-850. The process is the same using CQL Pro for either the QL-850 or QL-120. Take another look at us using variable data to print sequential numbers on a chemical label through the QL-120. If you take a close look here, you can see that the numbers are sequential. And that's it. Now you know how to use the QL-120 or the QL-850 in conjunction with CQL Pro Labeling Software to print variable data. For additional tech support tutorials, please visit us online at astronovaproductid.com.